An ordinary discovery in an old family album turned into something that should have been impossible. He was sorting through dusty boxes in his grandfather's attic when he came across a leather-bound photo album. Its pages brittle, the photographs yellowed at the edges, carrying with them the faint smell of time. And he turned the pages absently until one picture made him freeze, because it was a simple scene, a bustling fair, strings of colorful flags waving in the breeze, children laughing near a carousel, vendors calling out their prices. But at the very center of the photo stood a boy of about 7, his face lit up with excitement, a face the man knew all too well, his own. And he leaned closer, scanning every detail, the crooked smile, the slight tilt of the head, the same scar on the eyebrow he had gotten from falling off a bike. And there was no denying it. The boy was him, yet he had no memory of ever being at such a fair. And with trembling hands, he flipped the photograph over, finding on the back in neat handwriting a date, August 15th, 2029. And at first he laughed nervously. Surely it was some kind of joke, a misprint, or maybe his grandfather had staged this as a prank decades ago. But the longer he stared at the numbers, the colder the air around him seemed to grow, and he could not let it go. That night he searched online for any fairs held in that town, trying to match the image to something real. And he found nothing that resembled it, because the tents in the photo had strange designs, unfamiliar emblems, and even the carousel looked unusual, with shapes and creatures he had never seen at any carnival. And the following morning, curiosity gnawed at him until he drove to his mother's house and showed her the photo. And she frowned, squinting at the image, and said slowly that it was him. No doubt about it. But she did not remember ever taking him to such a place. She would have remembered. And when he turned the picture around to show her the date, her face went pale, and she whispered that it was impossible. And the photo haunted him. Days turned into weeks, and he could not stop staring at it. And at night he would dream of the fair, hearing distant calliope music, smelling roasted nuts and cotton candy, seeing flashes of colored lights, and each time he woke with the same feeling, that the fair was waiting for him. And then came the invitation, because one morning an envelope appeared on his doorstep. No stamps, no return address, just his name written in careful letters. And inside was a single sheet of paper that read, "You are expected, August 15th, 2029, Midway Fairgrounds." And his hands shook as he read it again and again. How could this be possible? The same fairground listed on the back of the photograph, the same date, still years away. And he tried to ignore it, even burned the letter. But it did not matter, because each night the dreams grew stronger, and in them he walked deeper into the fair, hearing laughter, seeing children run past, and somewhere in the distance he always caught a glimpse of his younger self waving for him to follow. And as the years passed, the date drew closer, and his life began to unravel, because he could think of nothing else. Friends drifted away, his work suffered, all because of a single photo and a promise of a future fair. And finally the day arrived, August 15th, 2029, and he drove to the Midway Fairgrounds, heart pounding, palms sweating. And when he arrived, he found nothing but an empty field, grass swaying in the summer wind. And for a moment he thought it was all a cruel trick, until he heard it. Faint music carried on the breeze, the same calliope tune from his dreams. And as he walked forward, the air shimmered and the fair appeared before his eyes, tents bright and colorful, rides spinning, people laughing. And at the center of it all stood the boy, the 7-year-old version of himself, smiling as if he had been waiting all along. And the man felt both terror and wonder, because the photograph had never been a memory. It had been a destination, and now he had finally arrived.